ended up coming over after I was kind of like, all right, I can interact with people who are sober right now. And we watched this show on. First off, we started. I started watching that show Tires on Netflix with Shane Gillis or Gillian or whatever the hell his name is, Shane Gillis. I actually didn't find it very funny. I know Mikey loved it and a lot of other people recommended it, but I just didn't find it very funny. I'm not gonna lie. So anyway, we were looking for something to watch. We pulled up HBO Max, and I came across this. This is the show that I found to watch. It's called Six Schizophrenic Brothers. It's about a family with 12 children, and 6 of them were diagnosed schizophrenic. The headline says, "One family torn apart by madness." So this was on Max. Holy shit. This was one of the most intense things I have ever watched in my entire life. I mean, incredibly intense. I actually have a small segment from it. It's a little bit hard to hear because it's kind of fuzzy, or not fuzzy. It was somebody recorded it from a TV recording. Let me see if I can boost this audio real quick. Give me one sec, guys. Boost that. See if that helps a little bit. So, this is a segment. This is about 12 kids in the 1960s, 70s. Irish Catholic family, wealthy family. The father was a professor professor of, I believe, political science at the Air Force Base in Colorado. So they did well. Irish Catholic family, like lots of kids, 12 of them. My dad, Irish Catholic family, had 6 kids. So that was kind of the thing people did back in the 60s if you were an Irish Catholic family. These people, sadly enough, were stricken by a disease that also has afflicted my family, schizophrenia. My uncle had it. My great aunt had it. My cousin has it. And it's something that has, it's been a part of my life for a long time. And we'll talk a little bit more about that in a little bit. Not me. I don't have schizophrenia. But we'll talk a little bit about the people in my life and how that affected me. But speaking of people being affected by it and family members and things like that, here is a video, a segment from Six Schizophrenic Brothers. This is Mary. She's the youngest daughter of the 12 kids. There were 10 boys and 2 girls. And so 6 of the boys turned out to have schizophrenia. So there's 6 healthy, and 2 of them are girls, 4 boys. And this is the youngest daughter. She's one of the healthy kids, talking about her experience growing up in a house full of schizophrenia.
I'm Mary Christine Galvin, which my mother always said was named after Mary, the mother of Christ. I was born into this large Irish Catholic family. I was the youngest of 12 children, 10 boys and 2 girls. Don, Jim, John, Brian, Michael, Richard, Joseph, Mark, Matthew, Peter, Margaret, and Mary. 6 of my brothers diagnosed schizophrenics. My mom describes that she saw signs but couldn't really identify in her heart and mind what was going on. There was something going on with Jim. Peter breaking all the windows in the house. Donald, he dismembered a dog in the bathtub at home. It was like a snowball effect. My parents blaming themselves. There was so much despair and so much hopelessness and so much confusion.
Okay, so that was kind of the setup at the beginning of the movie, or excuse me, the documentary, to kind of tell you a little bit about these 6 brothers. Man, where to start? So I'll probably definitely, I'm already holding them back. So I'll definitely cry while I talk about this, probably several times, because, like I said, this is Well, watching it was, it's funny when we first started it, B1 was like, "Are you sure you should be watching this right now?" Because she knows that this, how I feel about this subject. And so, by the way, 844 hit 844-448-3862 if you have any kind of experience with what I'm talking about right now. Um, so growing up as a little kid, my parents were divorced. I lived with my dad and my stepmom, and on the weekends I would go visit my mom. Now, when I would go visit my mom, a lot of times because of where I lived and where she lived, in between those two places, my grandpa and my uncle lived. They lived together. My grandpa was a war hero, turned into with bad PTSD, turned into an alcoholic, but like I said, fucking war hero, Silver Star, Bronze Star. Yeah. Anyway, then my uncle lived with him, and the reason my uncle lived with him is because my uncle had schizophrenia. We he we called him Uncle Tiger. um, I actually don't know how he ever even got that name. I'll have to ask my mom how he got that nickname. I don't know how he got that nickname. But anyway, his name was Doug. But I never ever called him Uncle Doug ever. It was Uncle Tig. Um, so he was real sick my whole life. Um, we would go through stages where he would be okay. He would be kind of lucid and normal. And when I say normal, that would mean not having outbursts, not yelling, throwing things, um, weird episodes where drinking would get out of hand. Usually, a lot of the times with him and a lot of schizophrenics that I've learned over the years is they either overtake their medication or they refuse to take their medication. And a lot of times, the ones that refuse to take their medication, like a lot of mentally ill people, they will turn to alcohol or drugs. And he did all that when he was younger. He did a lot of LSD. Was a big time hippie. Tripped a lot. Um, Smoked a lot of weed. I'm sure he was doing other stuff too, if I had to guess. But he drank a lot. When I was younger, he had stopped doing drugs and was just a full blown hardcore alcoholic. So I remember at one Thanksgiving, I watched him take a whole. Imagine this was a glass, just a full pint glass, full of brandy, and I watched him just literally just glug the whole thing straight down. I mean, it was 10 shots worth of. Did I say brandy? I meant bourbon. 10 shots at least of bourbon, at least. Might have been like 15. I mean, it was a big pint glass, like what you drink a fucking beer out of. He drank a whole thing of fucking bourbon, straight, no ice. Poof. And then during dinner, he started having issues. And it's hard. I think I may have honestly blocked out a lot of the incidents with him because they were always very scary. I was never necessarily totally in fear of him. Like I thought he was going to hit me or hurt me or anything like that. I just never knew what to expect next. And so watching this family, while, thankfully my uncle was never violent. He'd have outbursts, but he was like a gentle giant and he was an intellectual and his schizophrenia manifested in voices. But thankfully, these voices weren't telling him to harm others. I do believe there was self-harm involved. But it didn't really cause him to want to hurt other people. Unlike this documentary I watched, where the majority of these 6 brothers who had schizophrenia were all very, very violent. In fact, one of them shot his wife and killed himself. And there were lots of other, one of the older brothers would have outbursts and he would hold a knife to the mother's throat. And you hear these stories and you go, well, why weren't these people all institutionalized? Well, it was because the family had a lot of, they were in high society within the Air Force Base in Colorado. So they had, they had an image to uphold, and having a schizophrenic son or sons was not part of the image that they wanted to portray. So instead of having the kid while the kids were in and out of state mental hospital.
It's another dumb show.
Hello, hello, hello. Whoa, I forgot to turn my lights on. Hey, what's happening? Welcome to another Dumb Show. I'm another Dumb Show host. Typical dipshit doo-doo headery over here, forgetting to turn on my lights. Not ready to go, but hey, we're here, ready to rock. Issue number 220. So good to have you guys streaming on my tube. It feels so good. It feels so right having you guys streaming on my tube at night. I hope you had a great day. I had a hot as fuck day. I did a lot of door dashing today, and it was hot as balls. I actually broke down and decided to throw on the old AC in the car. Even though it's kind of counterintuitive and you're using more gas, I was hot, man. I was sweating my balls off. I was doing deliveries and taking deliveries into people's houses, and it was fucking crazy. This heat's out of control. So if you've not already taken a second, hit the thumbs up on tonight's video. I'd greatly appreciate it if you did that. Just take your thumb out of your ass, hit that thumbs up on your phone, wipe your thumb off and your phone, and put your thumb back in your ear. Don't forget, you can always download the show as an audio-only podcast through YouTube Music, so make sure you do that. If you would like to listen while you're on the road or working, whatever, you can do that. And please follow the show, X and Instagram, at Another Dumb Show. And shout out to the League of Dummies. That's our live chat here on the show. I had somebody in there first, but I can't give them true props because all our members get the right to be first in there with the first emoji, and that goes to Boomer. So big ups to Boomer. But we'll hear a little bit more from the person who was first anyway a little bit later on. Boomer, congratulations. Thanks for being first. And if you'd like to be a part of the League of Dummies, that's our live chat. Like I said, all you have to do is subscribe to the channel. 10 minutes later, you have access to our live chat and you can participate there. And like I mentioned, Boomer is a member. If you'd like to help support the show, you can do that by becoming a member. Go to the Another Dumb Show homepage on YouTube, hit the join button, and you can pick a tier to help support the show with. So we need all the support we can get to help keep Another Dumb Show up and running. Once again, so good to have you guys here with me. Boy, that recap that I played back about that sick schizophrenic brothers show, that I was getting choked up watching myself talk about it. I'm surprised I made it through that last. Oh, by the way, I left out too. The phones are working. You know, can always. I pay for these damn phones, so I want you to call into them. 844-HIT-DUMB, 844-448-3862. If you've ever wanted to hit dumb, you can do that right now through that phone. So yeah, I talked about that show yesterday for a while and my experience with my family and schizophrenia, and you know, I kind of left out some stuff. And I feel a little bad, to be honest with you, because I got a call from my mom after the show, and she said that she had watched the first half of last night's issue, and she said that it was really upsetting to her, kind of hearing me talk about my experience with my uncle's schizophrenia growing up, and she was I could tell she was kind of either had been crying or was on the verge of crying. But she didn't cry on the phone, thankfully. But she wasn't mad or anything like that. I think she was just, you know, distraught by what, you know, she learned. She'd said that learning about me, like, being excited and celebrating when I turned 26, when I, you know, kind of crossed the threshold of when, you know, schizophrenia hadn't hit me, thankfully. So I was kind of in the clear at 26, and that kid talked about that in that show and how that really resonated with me. But some things I kind of left out about my uncle. You know, the sad part is that, about his situation is after everybody tried to help him, you know, it just wasn't, the family couldn't take him in and help him. At that point, he needed to be in some sort of home where he was in some sort of assisted living and mental facility. So he did end up going to one of those. He had all kinds of physical issues. He had fallen at one point. He had a horrible incident where one of his medications dropped his blood pressure really low, and he fell, and he had a compound fracture in his lower leg. The bone was literally sticking out of his leg, and it got, because he's diabetic and an alcoholic and didn't take care of himself, it ended up getting infected, and they ended up having to amputate the lower half of his leg, which was traumatic for the family because my grandma, my mom's mom, my uncle's mom, had her legs amputated from diabetes. So it was it was traumatic in that sense too, kind of a repeat of the family member. But I left out a lot about what a good guy he was. I talked a lot about how scared I was of him, but I also was fascinated by him because he was so smart, and he was an intellectual, and he talked about history, and he talked about philosophy, and things like that. So I learned from him, but sadly the paranoia. I didn't mention that last night too. I mentioned he dealt with a lot of voices, but those voices also manifested as a lot of paranoia for him. He was worried about a huge flood or catastrophe, and he was going to always joked about or talked about running away to Costa Rica to live in the mountains somewhere in high altitude. But he was a voracious reader. He read, I'm sure he read thousands of books in his life, or I mean hundreds and hundreds, maybe thousands of books in his life. Like I said, a voracious reader, philosophy, history, and a good guy. He was just sick. And I feel like I maybe cast him in a bad light last night, and I didn't mean to, because he's a good guy. He's a sweetheart. He really was. He just had moments where he was sick, or where he was always sick, but where his illness would kind of take over. So sadly, he ended up dying in one of these homes, and it was, none of us were there with him. It was kind of sudden, and he was probably in his late 50s, early 60s, I think, maybe late 50s. I'm not exactly sure. This was several years ago that he passed away. But yeah, I love my uncle so much, and I feel like I kind of bad-mouthed him last night a little bit when I watched that recap, and I didn't mean to do that at all. He was a good man. I loved him, and I was just, it was a sad situation that we had with him, certainly. So, Mom, if you're watching, love Uncle Ty. But my mom did also say she is not going to be watching that show that I watched, that six schizophrenic brothers show that I mentioned to you guys last night. Here's a picture of it again for you guys so you can see what I'm talking about. Just in case you weren't watching last night, you can see the show that I am talking about. Here it is right here. There you go. So check that out at some point in time. I think you guys might find it very interesting. Angelina, one of the League of Dummies, she actually watched it last night, and she said, here, I want to show her email here. Let me close this real quick. One sec. Angelina says, "Hey, Dumb, my boyfriend and I watched the Six Brothers documentary last night after you talked about it. I, too, cried during it." She says, "Mine may have been more baby hormonal than anything," with a laughing, crying face, "but it was good. We stayed up till 4 a.m. watching. Love the show. Hope Mikey's date went well." So thank you for loving the show, and thank you for checking out the recommendation I made. I'm glad you liked it. I thought it was a fantastic documentary. It moved really well. Ended a little abruptly for me. I was I don't know where I thought it was going to go from there, but it was, it did end, it felt like it ended up a little abruptly to me. And then she ended with, "I hope Mikey's date went well." Now, I did talk to Mikey earlier, and he said he was going to try to make it on tonight. He was out work, while I was complaining about door dashing in my car all day. He was actually out doing actual man work, fixing generators in that heat today. So I am not 100% sure if we'll see him. I thought we were going to see him. I don't know. But I hope we do, because I would love to hear about how his date went and all that other stuff. In fact, because I had most of the show was revolved around talking to him about stuff. But either way, I will find some stuff to talk about on my own here real quick. So quickly, I do have a few comments that came in. A few nights ago, we got an email from a guy named Jim who really kind of went hard on Mikey and I. He was says I need to be more critical of Mikey, less critical of Biden, and more critical of Trump. Quite a few things in there. And Mikey, we kind of went through it point by point. And Mikey was not really, Mikey, typical Mikey fashion. I love Mikey, but, he gets fired up and he was like, fuck Jim. And Mark commented, Mark, a prolific commenter, love Mark. He said, Mikey, I got your back, F Jim. So there you go. Mikey, Mark has your back. And Are You Joe put a comment in regarding the Barnyard Redemption postponement. He said, pretty tough planning ahead to get a camera. Well, and I commented back, I said, listen again after you clean your ears out. I have plenty of cameras. The stabilizer didn't work, and the other camera I planned to use looked like shit. Try to keep up. I can't help myself. I see these comments like right after I wake up in the morning and I'm fucking crabby. I haven't had any fucking espresso yet, and I fucking fire off the first fucking thing that comes out of my mind. But no, he's wrong. It wasn't about planning to get a camera. It was the cameras that I had. It's a running thing. Like we're running. I'm running. And the person that's following me has to run as well. And the stabilizer that I have, it's on the other side of the room, so I can't get up and get it, was too bouncy. It's a good stabilizer for, like, if I want to go do stuff like this, follow people who are moving. So, say Mikey was there and I'm running, he could get a shot of me, running by, and that, and then kind of a wide shot where I start and then catch me here and then see me running away. And that would be nice and stable, which is good. But which we'll probably have with one set up on a tripod to do that. But the plan was to have the stabilizer. I was going to be holding my phone because even though that was going to be bouncy, I wanted to have my face in it. And then my reaction when, if something started to happen, should I fail the redemption? And I also wanted to have Mikey right alongside me when I was running, because I wanted him to, record what would happen, the incident. And also, Mikey couldn't run. I forgot Mikey's knee. Well, I forgot Mikey's knee was fucked up. So he really wasn't going to be able to run with me. So instead of doing it half-assed and shitty with bouncing ass cameras and looking like shit, I decided to postpone it because there are better options for cameras. I have a friend who's going to loan me a better camera that will work better for the bit. And then my Mikey said he has a drone, or his dad, or one of the two of them have a drone we can use. So can fly right alongside me as I'm running. So we don't even need, it changes the whole game of everything. And I decided that would be a better way to do it. So Are You Joe? I appreciate your comment. However, you're wrong, sir. And Hoodie, who technically was first today, I'll give you a little bit of love there. Hoodie commented, he said, Hoodie here. If you have an opening on this year's fantasy football, let me know. I'll join you all. And Hoodie, you are welcome to join the league. We haven't opened it up yet, obviously, because football season hasn't started. But once football season starts, I'll obviously, let everybody know. I'll make an announcement about, taking people who want to be a part of it. I'm sure we'll have some openings because I think there were a few people who might have dropped out, maybe not watching anymore for one reason or another. In fact, there were a couple fans. A guy, I don't know if you guys remember the dude Brad who did the Mikey's McDonald's challenge. Him and his fiance. I haven't really heard from them in a while. They were like watching every day, and I'd get emails and stuff from them all the time. And then I haven't heard from them in a while, so I hope they're okay. Who knows? I don't know what's going on, but maybe their shift change or something. They don't watch, or maybe they just don't like the show. I don't know. Maybe I said something to piss them off. But you know what? That's what I do, and that's what Mikey does sometimes. Damn it. All right, let's see here. Scrooge is in there. What's up, Scrooge? Good to hear from you, dude. He says, going back to my uncle and his leg break and the diabetes and all that's kind of ravaged his body, says, that's how my father passed. He was on the operating table to take his foot because of diabetes and didn't make it through the surgery. Oh, geez, that's fucking awful. I'm sorry to hear that. That sucks. because you're expecting them to go in there and get fixed, and then you're sitting there and waiting, and then like I couldn't imagine that. If you're like going into that kind of surgery, did they give you a heads up? There's a chance they might not come out of it because of the diabetes, perhaps, or whatever. I'm assuming that's probably what affected it. It wasn't some sort of medical thing or whatever, like a screw up or something. But yeah, that's sad. I'm sorry to hear that, Scrooge. But on happy news with Scrooge there, I do see he has the Captain Content logo next to his name, which means Scrooge has been a member for quite a while. So thank you very much, Scrooge. Greatly appreciate your support, my dude. Hold on, let me check my text and see what's going on with my dude here. See if he texted me, if anything happened. I wonder if he overslept. I wonder if he came home and took a nap and fell asleep. All right, so either way, all right. So I wanted to kind of get a recap from him about how he felt about the weekend when he came here into town. But Scrooge also says, going back to his dad, he said he had other health problems as well. So it all came to a head when the surgery came along. Man. And then he said, Happy Father's Day. Jeez, I'm sorry to hear that, Scrooge. That's sad news. Well, let's move on to something that's a little bit, well, I don't know if it's funnier. It's interesting. It involves a funny person. I don't know if you guys are, I'm assuming you're probably familiar with Howie Mandel. He's a host on America's Got Talent. If you watch Kill Tony, surprisingly, he will sit on the panel on Kill Tony, and he's actually a little bit like, I didn't realize he could be a little bit raunchy. There's Howie Mandel, if you haven't seen him before, in case you forgot who he is. No well-known germaphobe. He's afraid of germs. He does fist bumps. He's got a commercial about OCD. He's got OCD real bad. But the only reason I'm bringing him up is there's a crazy story that happened with his wife. They went to Las Vegas, and they were partying, having a typical, you go to Vegas, you go there to have a little bit of fun, and something crazy happened to her on the trip. Here is Howie Mandel. I believe he was on Regis and Kelly, talking about the incident that happened with his wife in Las Vegas. Give me one sec here. I gotta get this pulled up here. It's fighting with me. Okay, cool. So it's gonna pick up with him describing his wife. What had happened is they were staying in a hotel room. They'd partied all night. He was laying in bed. He woke up to a loud thump and yelling. And when this happened, he gets out of bed and he finds his wife lying in the bathroom, bloodied. Apparently, she had fallen in the bathroom. Where is this story? I had a better version of this about what actually happened. Hold on one second. I have better details here. I don't know where I put it. I'll give you 2 seconds. Hold, please. Where is that? Where did I send that to? What the heck? What the heck? Okay. So the details are a little bit sketchy. I swear I had another better description of it. Long story short, he's laying in bed. Here's a thump. He goes to the bathroom, finds his wife on the floor, blood everywhere. Here is just him describing the scene right as she slipped. Here's the scene. Here's Howie Mandel talking about it. Jesus.
She slipped, went down, hit that on her eye, then fell on the floor and broke her cheek.
Oh my
gosh! No, I'm being serious.
Because you didn't know that.
I did not know. I heard
we didn't know
bang and and I woke up and I went, "Where are you?" And she went, "I don't know." That's what she said.
Oh no!
I'll show you a picture of how it turned out. Look at this. This is my wife.
Oh my God!
Yeah.
Oh my God!
People said, "What happened?" She said, "Vegas."
And that's right. So yeah, here is that picture again. So his poor wife took a spill. Look at that. And I guess that cut on her head, it's kind of funny. I guess when he picked her up off the floor, he took her into the bedroom and put her on a bed. and I guess she started freaking out and started throwing stuff. I can't remember what she threw, but she threw something, and then he found like a bed sheet and he took one of the bed sheets and he put it over that gash. And I guess she took it in. Oh, that's what she threw. That's right. She threw the bed sheet at first. And when the blood had gotten seeped up into the blood, into that cut, when it seeped into the bed sheet, and she threw it, he said he could see her skull in that little spot up at the top there. So pretty fucking gross. But the only reason I'm actually really talking about this story is because the internet had just assumed that she was drunk. That she went to, because it's a Vegas story. They all just assumed that he was drunk, or she was drunk. Now here he is on TMZ talking about what actually happened with his wife in Vegas. Here you go. And you're going to see Harvey Levin and the guy with the dreads from TMZ interviewing him. I didn't have time to go cut the whole thing up, so bear with me.
The scene where you were that night and what happened here.
First of all, she wasn't drunk. She's so worried that people are going to intervene, and with her alcohol problem, she doesn't have an alcohol problem. I'm going to tell you the truth. She took gummies. She took gummies. So it's not an alcohol problem. She was on pot. Now, I tell the story because I was just trying to be, I said we had a great night and we got a little tipsy, and she got out of bed in the middle of the night and fell, and it was really scary. I put her on the bed and I tried to give her ice, and I didn't have ice, and I gave her cans of soda to put on her head, and she kept going, that kills, and she threw them across the room, and I went and got another can of soda because I didn't know that it was cut so bad, and I didn't want to stop swelling, and she threw that across the room, and then finally I saw the bone. I could see the bone. Yeah, so I called down to the front desk, and I say to them, I got to call 911. They go, what happened? I go, I don't know, but there's blood everywhere. They go, we're sending security up. They send security up. My wife is lying in the bed. There's blood everywhere. There's Coke cans that have been strewn across the room. So
oh my God! So they thought you were they thought you did it.
They've got me against the TV. My wife is covered in blood all over the bed. There's cans that have been thrown across the room with blood.
Looks like there was a fight.
They're taking pictures.
Oh my gosh!
I didn't even consider this.
You might think a great sense of humor. We got back to the hotel, and she's opening the door to the room. We're going back in the room. Another couple is coming out and going out for breakfast. And she goes, Howie, I promise I'll be a good girl and never say that. No, that's not funny. That is not funny.
So there you go. Boy, that actually brings up a good point. What if this is a bullshit story? Because the whole idea of her taking a can that she's using to cool her head, which is what that's what I messed up earlier. I knew there was something she threw, and it didn't click when I first heard a can. But now that there are multiple cans that have been thrown, could it be that he fucking threw a can at her? Is Howie Mandel a crazy person? And this is some sort of cover-up story, and his wife just doesn't want to, sometimes women who are abused, I don't know why she'd be going around making a joke about it the next day or whatever. But so yeah, I found that to be an interesting story. It made me think about the worst injury I've ever had while I was wasted. I'm trying to think. 844-HIT-DOM, 844-448-3862. The worst injury I've gotten while I was wasted. Let me think. I've had some pretty good ones. I'm trying to think of the worst wasted injury I got. I have permanent scars all over my legs from when I went on Charlie and I went on a press, like TBS or whatever, used to do like cheesy shows. Not cheesy shows, they were fine shows, but they would do whenever they would do an original show, like on TBS or something like that, they would, every once in a while, they'd look for people from the radio station to go out, watch the premiere of the show, and then interview a couple of the people on the show, and then come back, play those interviews, promote the show on your radio station. So Charlie and I went to Sedona, Arizona to see, I can't remember what the show was called. What was that show with? It was with Noah Wiley, Space Show. Falling Skies, that's what it was. That's the show we went out there to go see. It's about it's like a post-apocalyptic show, which I don't know, ran for 4 years. I can't remember which. I thought it was on TBS or TNT or something like that. Anyway, when we went out there on that trip, one of the cool things about those trips is you get to do all these like fun excursions. Like he and I went, we did a helicopter trip through the Sedona Canyons. That was so fucking cool. Charlie was fucking scared to death for his life. He was hanging out for deer. I mean, we were both white knuckling the fucking handle. But I started getting a little brave, and I was kind of like leaning out of the helicopter because I started getting, I think I was miserable with my life at that point in time and really didn't care if I fell out. But that'll tell you being married. It's like, no, I'm just kidding. I was a horrible husband. But no, we did all these fun excursions, and then one of the things we would do was at the end of the night, there was always like a reception, and they tons of free food, tons of free drinks. Like it was really awesome. It was you got hooked up on these trips. They were some of the best times of our life, or at least my life. I had a great time. But one night we got completely obliterated, and he went back to the room early. And I was so drunk, and this resort and you stay at a resort, you don't stay at a hotel. They have everything at this resort. So, they have a meeting space, they have a reception space, they have housing, all that stuff. So it's at this resort. The resort is a giant maze. It's not like you have straight paths to get to anything. Everything weaves around and goes in all these circles, and there's all this fucking cactuses everywhere, and oddly enough, pine trees everywhere. It was very strange, or something that seemed like pine trees in the desert. I don't know what it is, but they look like pine trees. And after he went back to the room, I was down there by myself. I was still drinking. And actually, I think I was just down there stuffing my face because there's so much free food. And that was back when I was, 300, 400 pound piece of garbage. And after we drank, or after he went back to the room, I had no idea. I was so drunk, I had no idea how to get back to the room. I was completely lost. I remembered what room number we were in and the general direction of the room. But if I knew I started going through all these sidewalk paths, I was going to get lost. But I knew a straight line to get to this place through all of the landscaping. So I started blazing a fucking trail through all this fucking landscaping. And I'm massively, really drunk. And I'm feeling no pain at all. And I'm just barreling through all these cacti and everything. And I get back to the room and I'm locked out. And thankfully, Charlie let me back in because I believe the night before, I had gotten back to the room early and he forgot his key, and he had the security people, there were security guys on golf carts all over the place. He had one of them drive him back to the room to have me let him in. He got back to the room. I opened the door and the security guard is actually standing there. And he goes, this gentleman says that he's staying here in this room with you. And Charlie starts to walk forward, and I go, never seen him before in my life. And I've slammed the door shut. So I actually got one over on old Charlie for once. He always gets me. I actually got him for once. But from there, so I was lucky he let me back in. I did eventually let him in the room, obviously. But I was lucky that he let me back in the room that night because I didn't have my key. And then when I got back into the room, I looked down at my legs, and they were just completely shredded. And I have scars all over my legs to this day from, my legs look all chewed up, and it's all because of me running through all these cacti and pine things, bushes, and a lot of these were pruned, like these little trees I was running by. So like they had little sharp edges, so they would gash me on the way by. Like, I mean, I was cut up really bad. The rest of the trip, I had to like put bandages all over my legs and Neosporin and shit. So, you know, and I was thinking of, you know, maybe the other one that might count. I mean, I was on my birthday. I don't know if it was on my birthday or the day before or day after my birthday a couple years ago. The infamous story I told about where I took a shower and I did a big stretch when I got out of the shower, which I always do. And for whatever reason this time, and I always get a little lightheaded if I stretch really hard like this. Like my head, I don't know, I guess I'm just pushing blood out of my head. Normally I get a little lightheaded. I put my hand on the sink. I'm fine. In this case, for whatever reason, I didn't catch it and I passed out cold and I folded my knees up underneath me and I tore my MCL, and I sprained my ACL and my other knee. It was all bad. I fucked my knees up really bad. Now, I had the day before, I believe I had tripped. So I don't think it was related to that, but it was because it was the next day. It was long since gone. And I had also been doing cleaning in the bathroom. There was all these like leftover chemical smells. Like for me, like I did a heavy clean of the bathroom and like took a shower right afterwards while these fumes were in there. So I don't know, maybe that's what it was. But either way, I mean, I was pretty baked. And maybe, I don't think I was tipsy, but I was definitely pretty baked when I ended up passing out. And it was the same thing B1, like Howie Mandel explained. That's the same thing B1 experienced. She was just sitting down here dicking around on her phone. I get out of the shower, and then all of a sudden she hears this massive thud. I mean, I went down my hands were up in the air. I passed out. There's a wall right behind me. I slid down the wall with my legs folded up like a pretzel underneath me. And that's how I fucked up my knees. And I actually thought I died when I started coming to. First I thought I was dead, and I was, you know, waking up and like, because it was all hazy and I didn't know what was going on. So I was like, okay, I'm dead. And then I went, wait a minute. No, I have a head injury. This is what it's like to have a head injury and not be able to move or think or be able to do anything other than think. And then the fucking pain kicked in. The pain in my knees I went, oh, I'm fucking alive. And then I kind of came out of it and I started hearing Brittany going, Sean, did you fall? And then she came running up the stairs, found me in this naked pile on the floor in the bathroom, this poor girl. I had to look because I'm fat and gross as it is. So just imagine me all puddled up in the fucking pile of goo on the floor. I might have been crying. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I started crying or not. But she had to grab me by my arms and drag me out of the bathroom because my legs were all folded up and I couldn't pick myself up because my knees were so fucked up. So I tried to drag myself out of the bathroom. I couldn't do it. I tried to pick myself up, couldn't do it. So I literally put my arms over and she dragged me on my naked ass out into the hallway. And then she had to actually spin me around in the hallway because it's a little tiny hallway and I couldn't extend myself to where I'm at the top of the steps, and I had to extend my legs then down out the steps. So thank God she was there, because I would have needed a fucking life alert thing. I mean, I would have been stuck there. I don't think I would have been able to get out of that position. I couldn't pick myself up, and my legs were fucked. My knees were all jacked up. So, yeah, 844-HIT-DUMB, 844-448-3862. What's the worst injury you've gotten while you've been fucked up? Let me know what happened. Speaking of things happening while you're fucked up, I actually have, I don't know if you guys remember a story we did a while back about a college kid named Riley Strain. Let me show you a picture of him. See if this kind of jars your memory. Here is Riley Strain right here. You know what? I might have a video of him. I think I have some video of the incident involving him that might kind of jar your guys' memory a little bit about this guy. Okay. Here is this kid, Riley Strain, in Nashville. If you remember the story, he went out with his frat brothers partying. I don't remember if it was after a concert or whatever, but they ended up going to Luke Bryan's bar. I believe that's the one they ended up getting kicked out of. Excuse me, not they. Just this Riley Strain guy got kicked out of the bar. They said he was too drunk and he got kicked out. And then he disappeared. They didn't know what happened to the kid. Here, he was caught on video in downtown Nashville after they started looking for the kid, after he was missing. Here's a video of him kind of stumbling through a crosswalk, holding on to a road closed sign. Kind of pulls it together for a minute and then, starts kind of stumbling along again. Clearly not walking like the rest of the people. Literally stumbling. Then he stops, stumbles and spins. Just completely fucked up. And his frat brothers had left him. When he got kicked out of the bar, his frat brothers did not follow him out of the bar. They didn't go, they knew he was fucked up. So the family got involved. They're not sure what actually happened to the guy. Let's see. I think I got another video of him. I'm not sure what this video is. Oh, yeah. He was caught on body cam by this cop. I totally forgot about this. So this cop's just looking at something over here. He has no idea this Riley Strain kid is missing yet. Nobody, he's not been reported missing. Then the kid just goes.
I'm good. How are you? Good.
Cop asks how he is. That was him walking by. So that was Riley Strain. Riley Strain sadly ended up dying. They found him in the river. There's a river in Nashville that goes through. He ended up dying when he fell in the river. And it's a strange case because he didn't have his shirt on. He had no boots on. He didn't have the boots he was wearing on, and he didn't have his wallet. So the parents are a little bit concerned about the whole thing. They actually don't necessarily believe the whole story because I guess they speculated that his drinks were spiked. They also, preliminary reports had said there was no water in his lungs, which fueled concerns that he was already dead before he hit the water, casting doubt on initial assumptions he drowned. Well, the toxicology report has come back, and the cause of death has been revealed for Riley Strain, and it just came out today, or maybe last night. According to the documents, Riley's official cause of death is listed as drowning and ethanol intoxication, which is drinking, with the manner cited as accidental, meaning his death. There's more info. It says that his blood alcohol content when his body was examined was at a concentration of 0.228. Holy shit. That is a shitload of fucking alcohol. I think back when I got one back in like 2000, I think I blew a 0.14, and that was pretty hefty. But strangely enough, I went to court and there was a lady there who had blown a 4.0. I'm not even making it up. The judge even said, you should be dead right now. And he threw the fucking book at her ass. It was crazy. But anyway, sad news about this Riley Strain guy. There was no significant trauma, no evidence of significant trauma to his body, because there were some reports of maybe a homeless guy wearing his shirt. So they thought maybe the homeless guy might have been the one, had done something to him and then thrown him into the river. They did find some traces of THC in his system, but no signs of like maybe being spiked like Rohypnol or any kind of other weird drug that like his parents are claiming. So seems as though the dude just got absolutely completely lit, wandered away from the bar, got kicked out of the bar, and then wandered away from it and drowned. And I'm wondering, I don't know about you guys, when I drink a lot, I get really hot, so fucking hot. I sometimes like I want to strip my clothes off when I get drunk. Not because I'm drunk, but because I get really hot. I get these waves of heat, which is basically just my body trying to say, you're poisoning me, stop putting alcohol in me. But I'm wondering if that's what happened to him. He just got really fucking hot and decided that he was going to take off his take off all his clothes and go for a swim and cool off, and then ended up just drowning in the river. So sad story, but there's the update to Riley Strain. It turns out the guy was just exceedingly drunk. But that still doesn't, it still kind of begs the question, 844-HIT-DUM, 844-448-3862. Should you leave? Should the frat boys have left him alone? I mean, the results would say obviously no. Your buddy gets, you got to have the buddy system. You know what I mean? Chicks have that when they go out or whatever, or have that. I don't even remember what the buddy system was. Was that for swimming? The buddy system? You always go swimming with a buddy or something? What was the buddy system? What is a buddy system? Swimming. Okay, schools, workplace, military. Okay, I guess it could be used for multiple things, but I think I first learned about it from swimming. You want to have a buddy to swim with to keep you safe. Where the fuck was I even going with that? Buddy system. Hello. Oh yeah, going back to the guys. You gotta, girls go out in pairs or in groups to keep themselves safe. Guys go out in groups. One guy bails, gets kicked out of a bar. You got to at least send one of the frat boys to go with him. Got to babysit him, make sure he gets back to the hotel. I think that's kind of like, well, I guess maybe I'm a hypocrite because the story I just told about Charlie and we bailed on each other. But that was, we bailed on our buddies that night, and I ended up getting injured. So thanks a lot, dude. I'm permanently scarred because of you. Now, I did just talk about S. Rose is in there, and he says, "What's up, dumb? How are things?" By the way, make sure you tag me if you guys want me to read your comments. I just happened to see S. Rose at the bottom because it was the last one. Make sure you just tag me at Another Dumb Show if you have a comment about. If you can't call in, I always encourage you guys get your comments in through the chat, and then tag me when you do that. Crooked Orchid says, what's up, dumb? How are things? Things are okay. We're getting by. Just grinding away. Wedding season's about to go into full swing here. So just going to be working 6 to 7 days a week at this point. So, but hey, you know what? It's good. It feels good to, handle my own business and take care of myself and do the show with you guys. And it's been good. I feel like there was a point in time where we a little stretch doing the show here where had some a lot of bad apples who were just kind of a lot of negative Nancy's, unfortunately, and it just kind of like took a lot of enthusiasm out of doing the show. Took a lot of the fun out of it, just dealing with negative Nancy's all day. I think once that went away, my enthusiasm kind of started to come back again. So I'm enthusiastic about doing the show. I really love doing the show. But I mentioned that I had gotten a DUI back in 2000, something like that, years and years ago. But there is somebody else who also got a DUI yesterday. This guy right here, one Justin Timberlake, got himself into some trouble with the police. He was in, I believe, Sag Harbor. I don't know. Is that in New York? Wherever Sag Harbor is. What the fuck is Sag Harbor? Yeah, it's a village in Long Island, New York. Okay. So the Sag Harbor PD released his mugshot today after he was arrested on Monday evening after being pulled over by police in Sag Harbor for driving while intoxicated. Excuse me. In a police report obtained by TMZ, cops say they first spotted Justin after he blew through a stop sign. JT further sparked concern after his gray BMW UT was allegedly swerving on the road. Apparently, he had just left a friend's get-together at the American Hotel, making it a little over a mile before being stopped by the police. While Justin told the police he only had one martini, the arresting officers say JT had bloodshot, glassy eyes, a strong odor of alcohol in his breath, slowed speech, etc. And I got to tell you, you look at that picture, that is a drunk dude right there. That is a drunk motherfucker. Look at those eyes. I mean, he looks zooted. I think he's high too. In my opinion, I have no idea, but my eyes tend to look like that when I'm high and drunk, just kind of weird, kind of pink glaze, and then like the edges get all irritated like that. So I'm sure you guys have seen that plenty of times, me being high and drunk on the air. But Justin was given a field sobriety test, which I guess he failed. And then he refused to take a breathalyzer test, which is pretty crazy if you think about it, because I think in Ohio, at least, if you refuse a breathalyzer test, you automatically lose your license for, I think it's 18 months. So at least that's what it used to be. I don't know if the laws have changed or whatever, but I'm pretty sure that's how it is. So then they cuffed him. They took him to jail. And then he actually had to spend the whole night in jail, which is crazy because he was with friends. He had friends. And it's funny because I guess his friends were pulling do you know who this is? Like, I don't know if he said that, but allegedly his friends were walking around, or not walking around, but talking to the cops saying, do you know who this is? Trying to intervene on JT's behalf. And it didn't work out. He ended up getting arrested. So that was his mugshot. He spent the night in jail, which is, I can't believe they didn't get him out. They didn't bail him out. Like, maybe it took, I don't know what time it was at the party. Maybe it was really, really early in the morning, maybe like 4 o'clock in the morning. I don't even know what time it was. And it just took him that long to get processed and do all that shit or whatever. Here is a picture of him actually in cuffs coming out of the police station the next morning. Pretty crazy. Justin Timberlake all cuffed. I can't understand why somebody who has the money that this guy has wouldn't just have a driver, just pay a driver. Just talk to other celebrities and be like, hey, I need a driver that's reliable, that's not an Uber guy, or just use fucking Uber. Like, I know you're Justin Timberlake, but fuck, dude, take an Uber or hire a driving service. I'm sure there are plenty of driving services in the village of in a village on Long Island. So I hate saying I don't have a lot of sympathy for Guy because maybe I'm hypocritical because I've done this myself, but I wasn't rich. I was some dumb 20-something-year-old, leaving the bar like an idiot, drunk enough to think that I could outrun the cops to the next county. Not outrun them like I just sped into the next county thinking that once I got into the next county, they weren't going to be able to pull me over. Too bad they were state troopers waiting on the other side of the county as part of kind of like a sting operation. Like they knew people had been speeding through there or driving drunk through there. So they were sending them from one city, sending them towards the Stadies in another city, and the Stadies got me there. So I was screwed. So yeah, hopefully, apparently Justin Timberlake has got a lot going on, and there's relationship issues with Jessica Biel. There was allegations that he was cheating on her with one of his co-stars back in the day. There were allegations then that he was a bit of a drunk and he's got a substance abuse problem. So who knows what's gonna happen? I mean, this is, oh man, I just thought about this. This is kind of bad. NSYNC was working on a reunion tour. Now they're not, maybe, what if that affects the reunion tour? That would suck. All right. Well, good luck, JT. Hope it doesn't ruin the reunion tour. But do you think when his friends saw him get arrested, they were all like, bye, bye, bye? Anyway, real quick in the chat. Oh, huge superfan donation from Boomer. Thank you very much, bro. I really appreciate it. He says, Dumb, when you get a chance between stories, KO and I need a debate settled. What is your definition of earning your Red Wings? Sorry for the derail. Well, that's easy. That's when you go down on a chick when she's on her period. That's why it's called Red Wings, because you get red wings when you do it. If you're doing it right, you get all up in there. You get red wings. So, I think that's it. If I'm wrong, call 844-HIT-DUMB, 844-448-3862. Let's see here. Crooked Orchids apparently was the one who said that the definition I just gave up or gave. Yeah, Red Wings. So Crooked Orchids agrees with me. What did Boomer say it was? What else would it be? I don't even understand. What Boomer could you possibly thought it could have been? other than what it is. Did he think it was just when you like bang a chick on her period? I'm not really sure. Somebody asked what was going on this weekend, and Scrooge mentioned that he's going to a comedy special with Mikey and Dumb this weekend. Unfortunately, I will not be making it to that event. When I promised Mikey that I was going to go, I forgot that I had already promised my dad that I would DJ a charity event for one of my sister's friends whose daughter has a rare form of lung cancer. I think there's like 1 in 20 kids in the world that has this, some crazy illness. So they're doing a fundraiser for her, and I'm going to DJ it because they're doing raffles, I'm sure, and all that stuff. They need somebody to raffle everything off. But when I agreed to do it, I was drunk. It was on Memorial Day weekend when I was over at my parents' house, and I was tipsy, and I put it in my calendar, and I completely forgot that I did it. And then I talked to Mikey a couple days later and about the comedy show, and he was like, it's the Fully Loaded tour with Bert Kreischer and Tony Hinchcliffe that's going on at Darien Lake in New York. We were all supposed to go to it, and I can't go. I agreed to Mikey that I would go. I totally forgot about doing the thing for my dad when I agreed to go with Mikey, and then he bought the tickets, and then literally I went to go into my calendar to put in there that we were going to the show, and then because it was on a Sunday, so I didn't think I had anything going on, and then I went to go put it in my calendar, and it turns out that I was already booked for that day and was not able to drive out to Rochester. So sorry, dude. I apologize. I do believe one of Mikey's buddies is going to go, who's actually a really cool dude. So I think you guys will have a lot of fun going. Let's see here. Before we go to break, I had a story that I knew that I thought Mikey would absolutely love. He hates the Buffalo Bills. And so I thought he would find it very funny what the Buffalo Bills are doing right now. I don't know why I particularly found this to be very funny. I guess it's not exactly funny, I guess. But the Buffalo Bills have teamed up with the National Gay Flag Football League. Buffalo Bills posted on Instagram, "We're proud to support the National Gay Flag Football League with a sponsorship to launch a league in Buffalo. We are thrilled to bring inclusive flag football to Buffalo with the sport of the Buffalo Bills. This exciting addition joins 27 other cities and over 4,000 players, including straight allies, in the National Gay Flag Football League," said NGFFL Commissioner Joel Horton. Link in bio to get more involved. And then the comments are good on this one. Doesn't seem fair to make a league specifically for the Dallas Cowboys. This is a great question. Are gay people not allowed to play flag football with straight people? I didn't understand that either. Why can't they just be in the regular flag football league? Why gay people could be in the NFL? They've got, what's his name? Not Max Crosby, the guy that just retired. He played for the Browns. Who cares? There's openly gay NFL players. Jake Boost, the return of segregated football. Jesus help us. Everything doesn't need to be gay. How does tryouts work? You got to prove you're gay. There we go. I'm sure these comments will be super fun and respectful. We got gay only football before GTA 6. A Bills fan says we're never winning a Super Bowl. And then people say, the Bible beaters say, turn to Christ. A repeat of that same one. And Cody's wondering what the team names might be. The Buffalo Bill is really cute. The Buffalo Bill's got a huge cock. Maybe. I don't know. That sounds like a good one. So I knew Mikey would, hating the Buffalo Bills, I thought he would find that to be very rewarding to him. I thought he'd get a kick out of that. So, all right. It is almost happy hour here on Another Dumb Show. So go get your kids a couple rainbow flags, rainbow jerseys. Give them a football. Send them in the other room. Tell them to go play some gay flag football so they can get ready for the new sensation that is going to sweep the nation. Like I said, once they're in that room, we'll start happy hour. Get your drinky drink on, get your mokey moke on. If you've not already taken a second to hit the thumbs up on tonight's video, please hit the thumbs up. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, hit the subscribe button and you can be a part of the League of Dummies, our live chat here. And just a reminder too, if you're not already a member, please take a second to join the channel and help support the show. We'll be right back. Hang on. Okay, welcome back to Another Dumb Show. I am Another Dumb Show host. Thank you for joining me on issue number 220. Feels so good, feels so right. You know the deal. Thumbs up if you've not already done it. I would greatly appreciate it if you guys did that for a brother. All right, let's see here. All right, during the break, I saw the debate raging on regarding the Red Wings and whether or not getting your Red Wings. Now, see, here's I think I think I'm going to put this baby to bed for once for all. Okay, when you're going back to your Red Wings, there's a debate before the break. Boomer and KO, a couple people in the League of Dummies, were talking about what it means to get your Red Wings. Now, if you get your Red Wings, to me, I guess that means you have sex with a girl on your period. That's getting your Red Wings. Now, earning your Red Wings is when you go down south when she's on her period. Okay, so that's earning your Red Wings. All right. So make sure you get your superfan donations in, because I guarantee YouTube's going to knock this one and give us an ad thing. So get your superfan donations in for me settling the debate. Earning your Red Wings means you're taking a trip south while they're on a period. Getting your Red Wings means you banged a chick on her period. So it's all about the verb, earn and get. Very different. Okay. And Nugget Man wants to know if Boomer's just been walking around cold calling people with this question, because he said he's been asking all his friends about it. So, all right. I froze up there. I look like Joe Biden. Real quick, let me play that clip. If I haven't played that clip yet. I know people are gonna say, why you only make fun of Biden? Well, I haven't seen Donald Trump do this yet. There is, and I'm not gonna spend the whole day talking about politics. Don't get all turned off or freaked out. There's this video that went viral, of Joe Biden on stage, allegedly freezing up. Here it is. Why is there no audio with this? Why is there no audio with this? I swore there was audio with this guy. Oh, apparently not. Okay, well, let me play this. There's no audio. Here, we zoom in on it, though. Here is the close-up of it. Now, I got to tell you, after I watched this, he's all ramped up there. Oh, why are we doing a close-up right there? You see him looking to the right, and then right about here is where, well, not yet. Right about, you see him walking, and then he turns to look back at the crowd. He waves, talking, not frozen, clapping. Look, normal presidential candidate stuff. President stuff. He's a president, sorry, but also a candidate. But right there, right here is where he stops right there. They say he's now frozen. This is Joe Biden having a freezing moment. Now, I got to tell you, in the close-up of it, it really does look to me like he's just soaking up the crowd. I mean, he doesn't look like there's anything wrong with him here. He's just standing still. He's an old guy. They stand weird to keep their balance. And then Obama is his buddy and walks him off stage. That little pat on the back. I don't know. I don't think there's necessarily much to see there. I got to tell you, that was. Oh yeah, then you can see the Biden Harris thing. That was their reply at the end. No, so I hate to beat the guy up, being as old as he is, but he's clearly he's struggling. He's a struggling old guy, and I think I heard the big slam on Trump this week about making fun of his age was he messed up somebody's name. What was the Trump gaffe with somebody's name? Trump gaffe Johnson. Is that what he did? Trump calls key ally Ronnie Jackson Doc Ronnie Johnson. That's the gaffe to show how old he is. He mixed up Jackson and Johnson. So that's a bit of a stretch, I think, if we're going to try to compare some of the I feel like this is such a stupid argument. Like, I can't help. Anyway, I'm done talking about that. Enough about politics. I'm not really talking politics. Anyway, I do have something kind of silly. Why in the world is this doing this? Why is it not playing the audio? There we go. Okay, that's fixed. All right, so I have this story regarding a dating show that occurred on YouTube. I've been trying to figure out. I've read 2 different news stories about this, and oh, come on, did I lose that? Okay. Where is this other one I had? Okay, sorry, here we go. My bad, guys. Okay, so I was trying to find, there's this YouTube dating show. I don't know what it's called. I haven't been able to find the actual name of it, to tell you the truth. I've looked in 2 different news stories. I can't find it. But anyway, it's a dating show. I don't really necessarily understand the concept of it. It's, you're going to see, well, I'll just show you. There are, looks like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 women. Well, there's a host, and then there's 5 women holding balloons, and I think there might be another one that's out of frame there. And also out of frame is the guy who's trying to win a date with one of these 3 girls. Now, this clip has gone viral because of the way that this guy interacts with these women. And the clip's a little bit long. I don't know if we'll make it through the whole thing, but it went viral because this guy apparently really roasts these girls. So let's see how he roasts these girls.
This man gets rejected because he's sassy.
Oh, welcome. I'll have you hold this. All right, if we can have your name.
My name's Aaron.
Aaron, how old are you?
Yes, ma'am. I'm 29.
29, okay.
Yes.
And what do you do?
I'm a licensed plumber.
And now, what are some of your deal breakers?
Deal breaker, being promiscuous, non-cleanly, don't have a career, nothing really going for yourself.
Okay. So we did get a pop balloon. Go ahead and go on over there and see what's going on.
Yes.
All right, if we can have your name and age and why you popped your balloon.
Hi, my name is Karma. I'm 24. For me, it just did not work. I didn't feel like I had chemistry or I wasn't fully attracted to you. And I feel like that counts if we are going to be going through a dating show, you know?
Okay, so there you go. So when they pop the balloon, that means they are no longer interested in the guy. I'm having a little confusion on whether they've already gone out on a date with the guy or if they just date him after this on the dating show. Not 100% sure. Not gotten a little breakdown about the 100% breakdown on the show because I couldn't find the name of it to go look into it. But here we go. We'll see. Here again is her explaining why she popped her balloon and doesn't want to date the guy.
Chemistry or I wasn't fully attracted to you. And I feel like that counts if we are going to be going through a dating show, you know?
Yes, the feeling is definitely mutual. So that's okay. Thank you. You did me a favor.
You know, absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm glad you have a great day.
Thank you, Queen. You too.
Okay. Well, let's go ahead. All right, we got to pop over here. If we can have your name and age and why you ended up popping your balloon.
Hi, my name is Jara. I'm 22.
Okay, and why did we end up popping our balloon?
The comment you made didn't really. I like a more humble person, not someone that responds so defensive-ish. Yeah, that's really it.
Yeah.
I didn't really necessarily like
That's
how you
fine.
responded.
Hey, I could just, all I can do is be honest,
I mean,
you know?
yeah, be honest.
I
Be your
came
authentic
over here
self.
to,
That's okay.
to find a match
Sure.
that wasn't matching. That's
Sure, I
all,
mean,
Queen.
100% understand.
Yes,
yeah.
ma'am.
Sure.
And I was, she someone that's your type?
She all right, you know. She's not really my type. I don't mean to be disrespectful,
No,
you know,
disrespecting.
but if I seen you in public, I wouldn't reach out to.
Totally fine.
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Your name and age and
Holy
why you
fuck.
ended up popping your balloon.
Brianna, 26. My eyes are up here, baby. Are you looking at the tattoo?
No, I'm looking at the hair on your arms. You know, women I deal with, they don't have hair on their
Don't
arms.
do too much.
Hey, I'm just being honest,
Don't do
Queen.
too much.
You know, I don't like that. That's
Okay.
all I was looking at. You trying to say if I'm looking at particular body
You just
parts,
wasn't
but
looking at
that's
my
not
eyes.
what it is.
That's
No, I was
all
looking at the hair on your
Anyways,
arms, Queen.
she asked me the question.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm in heels and you ain't tall enough.
Okay.
Don't do too much.
Well,
though.
you're not qualified, baby.
Alright,
So that's all good.
Let's move on.
My name is Kayla. I'm 23. Originally, I was not going to pop my balloon because I know a lot of them popped it because he was being, I guess, arrogant. But to me, I like my man that's not going to sit in every girl's face and, you know, complimenting them, you know? So I didn't find that offensive to me. But I'm very, like, I don't want to say I'm argumentative, but I don't want my man to argue back with me because then I feel like it's going to always be a problem. That was the only reason why I popped my balloon because I was just like, dang. But then with me, you kind of got a little bit catty with me. You a little sassy just a little bit. And since you want to come at everybody over here, I'm going to get at you too. You kind of look like a Ninja Turtle. You're not that cute. You need to relax. You stocky as hell. And I was trying to be respectful, but like you was really coming out like I didn't like it. I'm from the South and I can handle like a lot of criticism and stuff like that, but the way you was coming, you just ain't like you got it all like that. And I guarantee you probably got a roommate at home and it's just not giving anymore.
Yeah. Well, let me say this, Queen. I'm a licensed plumber.
I do real estate and property management.
I live downtown.
So
I live downtown. I stay by myself, Queen. You know, and you're not even qualified to be even dealing with me.
You say everybody not qualified.
You definitely not. You know, if anything, it was one of these two. I wasn't even looking your way. You
and
ain't
the one
my
that
type.
you wanted popped
if I seen, that's fine.
So
That's totally fine. Okay. But one thing about me, I could pull 100,000 on the bank. Can you do the same?
Bruh.
Yeah, you can't do that. You can't do that though, baby.
All right, so it's a good thing this guy's got 100,000 in the bank. Which, by the way, no wonder that clip went viral. That guy was fucking hilarious. That was great. The hair on your arms. I wasn't looking at your tits. I was looking at the hair on your arms. That was fucking great. The reason I'm even playing this clip, not really because it went viral. It's because what happened after he appeared on this show. He took to Instagram. His name on Instagram is very2wise_handsome. And after he went on that show, this is what he posted. He said, "All this clout chasing got me fired from work. Man, I really love plumbing and I'm good at it. And they got that taken from me. Y'all are sick. They called the company 500 times and are messing up business." So guess what happened? This poor fucking guy who goes on there just being real about how he feels about these girls ends up getting fired. He got fired from his job because there were so many people posting bad reviews and calling and harassing the place that he ended up getting fired from his job, the plumbing business. So that's some fucking bullshit. I got to be honest with you. The poor guy, he didn't do anything wrong. I don't know what the rules are as far as wherever he got fired or where he lives or whatever, but I feel like this guy should have some sort of case because he didn't say anything in particularly bad, sexist, nothing that's like anti-woke or anything like that. You're allowed to have an opinion about somebody on a fucking dating show. Maybe he was harsh for sure, but a fireable offense, definitely not. Even if people are calling and harassing the business, that's not his fault. He can't control that. You shouldn't have gotten fired. It's fucking horseshit. But God love the guy for coming with the thunder. And I have another thing he wrote here. I don't know if it was another Twitter post or whatever, and I can't actually get it to it won't open on my screen. But it says, actually here, let's see if I can pull this over here. Right here, it says, I don't know where this came from or where this quote came from, but it says, "This is what I get for dealing with low-value women. I'm hurt beyond this for real. This is what kept me out the streets," he wrote in a caption. That sucks. This poor fucking dude's fucking living the street life, and then he fucking decides that he doesn't want to fucking, he goes on a dating show and just is honest about it and has a little bit of fun with these girls, and maybe not fun for them, but he's entertaining. I guarantee I'm assuming if a show, there's a producer being like, "All right, really tell these girls how you feel about them. Let's have some fun with this show." Well, and then he really told them how he felt about them. So, I wish I knew what the name of that show was, because I feel like I really love to watch that show. And Thermal Hermit said, "Bitch had hairy arms. It's a fact." Crooked Orchid says, "They play up all trash TV. I bet they fed him remarkable things to say." You know what? I'm sure they definitely coached him that I don't know. I'd have to see other episodes of that show to kind of maybe peg that a little bit more, because I could see them telling him, don't hold back, have some fun, talk about the girls and why you don't want to be with them. But I don't think they would say go out and completely thrash the girls like that, insult their looks, things like that. I don't think they would do that. Maybe talk about maybe some things he started saying some chemistry stuff, but then he started going after their looks, and that just, obviously isn't going to that's going to make any chick pissed, and any group of chicks going to be pissed off by that. If you call any group there, it doesn't matter. They're just all going to immediately, usually they all hate each other, but the minute you call one of them ugly, they're all secretly going to think, yeah, that bitch is ugly. But they're all going to band together and be like, I dare you, you look like a Ninja Turtle. So, yeah, anyway, I'm going to try to find out the name of that show. I think it might be kind of interesting. I'm not going to lie to you. I think it might be kind of cool. Another show. There's another show that I am actually interested in checking out. You guys know I'm a horn dog. Let's just put it out how it is. I'm a horn dog. And there is a show that I saw a preview for. It's called House of Heat. And I actually have the trailer for you guys, so I'm going to play it for you guys, and I'm interested to see what you think of this show. It's on Tubi TV. Check this out.
I am a content creator.
I have been in social media for 10 years.
You are selling your body.
Girls are hot.
Woo!
To great sex and to paychecks.
Yeah.
We got drunk, we got naked, we had fun.
You know it's getting hot. You know we're about to drop.
What type of content do you shoot?
I'll do something like this.
I do bikini pictures, implied nude, picture of my feet. People like feet.
I'm having sex.
Obviously. Are you? You don't have sex? I made $3 million in my first year, and I've been doing this for 5.
Their content and my content is not even remotely the same.
He's slut-shaming me. He thinks he's better than all of us because he doesn't have sex on camera.
We're not doing this at this dinner table.
I can do it anywhere I want.
You're inserting yourself into everybody's business.
What is wrong with the girls in this house?
Give me a second. Give me a second.
This is what happens behind the scenes.
We all have another side to us.
It's really hard to juggle my businesses and being a mom.
That's what we came here to do, was learn from our housemates.
You mailing him the underwear?
Yeah, after I work out in it.
Can I talk?
Did you just call me a bitch?
Oh, nice. Oh, hell yeah. Hell yeah. All right. I think that looks like a fucking great show to me. I really want to watch that show. I could do without all the mankinis and the gay dudes banging each other for OnlyFans. But it was weird. Like I said, I'm a complete horn dog and creep, apparently, because I actually already follow one of these people on this show. And I recognized another one. One of the dudes was on another one of these shows, like Too Hot to Handle or Love Island or one of those stupid shows. And I love those shows. Well, I used to love those shows. I would watch those shows with B1, but she decided to stop watching those shows with me and start watching them with her friends instead. So go fuck yourself. I'll watch this by myself. But strangely enough, I actually already follow this chick. Her name is Jade Ramey. I follow her on Instagram already, and you can see why. Can't really see. Got quite a dumper on this girl. I'm just gonna say that's all there is to it. But so another strange story about her. She actually is involved in the weird that because she's got an unusual name, Jade. Her name popped up in the P. Diddy lawsuit. I believe she was one of the women, allegedly, I don't know officially, but I believe that she was allegedly one of the women who P. Diddy hired to have sex with other people so he could watch or something like that. I don't know. That's what some of the allegations are. And like there was some of the sex trafficking, maybe Puffy was setting stuff up. I don't know. All the allegations, like nothing's really come out about what the federal sex trafficking investigation into Puff Daddy is, or P. Diddy is, because now everybody's just thinking about him beating up Cassie in the video of that. But so it'll be interesting to see this show. I don't know how Tubi works, if this is a paid service. I don't think I'm going to end up paying for it, but for some reason I thought maybe I'll get like a free trial and watch this because I've never used Tubi before. So maybe I'll check that out and watch that for free or binge it or something like that. So Scarf Mommy found it. She found the name of that show. She said it's called Pop the Balloon. Pop the Balloon or Find Love. Good for her finding that show. I didn't spend a ton of time looking for it, to be quite honest with you. But Yeah, I couldn't find it earlier, so good job. Good kudos to you. CYX also said it's called Pop the Balloon. Good job. Gabriella says Chase is hot. He is on Too Hot to Handle. That was the other guy that I recognized. So yeah, I love those damn shows. Scarf Mommy says Tubi is free. Awesome. So I'll have to go check that out. That looks like one of those fun kind of shows. I love those goofy dating shows where the stupid reality shows where they end up. This one looks like they actually get into a fist fight. So I'm all about that. Those are cool when those dudes get all riled up. Looked like a couple gay guys getting into a fight there too. So that's always entertaining. Oh, speaking of chicks doing slutty shit, I got a pretty interesting video for you guys here that was pretty made me laugh really hard. Hold on, let me pull this video up here. I'm gonna give you my little folder here. This is a video that went viral today. I think it was today because I have never seen this before, and then I saw it a bunch of times today. This is a video of a group of people hanging out on a yacht. And when you first look at it, it just looks like a normal thing. It just looks like a girl sitting on the edge of a yacht. And then you notice the girl next to her kind of putting her feet right where the girl is sitting. So it's a little bit of like an optical illusion. And then she does this. She climbs up onto the railing and starts twerking, and you'll notice she has no legs. It's a legless lady doing a twerk on the side of a boat. So I don't know. Good for her. I saw somebody commented and said it looks like she's definitely done this before. Hey, kudos to her. Still trying to be sexy out there despite not having legs. I wonder what happened to her. I wonder if she had diabetes. We talked about earlier. Diabetes. Anyway, so I thought that was kind of a silly video. I hope you guys like that. Legless lady. You doing fucking twerking. Megan the Legless Stallion. Let's see here. By the way, if you don't follow Megan the Stallion, I highly recommend it. She's been posting some fire-ass videos lately, so check her out. All right. Now, I have all these like date-related stories because I was expecting to have Mikey on and we'd be able to talk about dating stuff. I have this video of this influencer, and it kind of relates to Mikey in a couple of ways. Don't actually necessarily even need Mikey to talk about it, though. So let me see. Where did that go? Hold on one sec. All right. So this is we just talked about OnlyFans in that last segment and influencers and all that stuff. And I have a story about, well, she's a porn star. I don't know if it's on OnlyFans or I don't recognize her. I'm an avid porn watcher and I actually don't recognize this girl, but excuse me. She has a story about what happened on a first date. And the reason I'm bringing up a first date, Mikey was on a first date last night. So this is a story about a porn star going on a first date.
Story time. I am going to tell you how my perfectly normal first date ended up like this and with me in hospital. Now, due to my line of work, using things like this is just not out of the norm for me. So I would say that I am very experienced with things like this. However, this is a first for me. So it started just a normal first date, hit it off, and then one thing leads to another and the vibe was right. So that's what ended up happening. I decided to add a little bit of extra fun in. Then all of a sudden during, I was like, oh, it fell out. I put my hand down there and I'm like, where is it? It's not there. So we're pulling doonas off the bed. We're like, where the hell is it? And then I was like, it's not here. It can't be. It can't be. Like, there's no way that it's possible. So I go into the bathroom and I'm inspecting and I'm like, where is it? Panic. I'm like laughing because I get so awkward and laugh at situations like this. And also too, like, whatever, it's like funny. But I'm like, it's not there. I can't find it. I decided that I would go in through the other way and see if I could feel it through the wall. And lo and behold, there it is. All the way up there. What? Excuse me? So He, like the absolute trooper that he is, trying to retrieve the item.
Yeah,
and
yeah,
there was
that's
just
a
no
fucking
way that it was
hero.
going to come back out. What do we
Hero.
do? And I was like, my friend is a nurse. I'll call my friend. I call her. She's with her partner. And I was like, I have a problem. I told her what's happened. She's like, holy shit. And as good friends do, they spent the next 5 to 10 minutes just laughing at me, and it just came to the deciding factor that I was going to go to the emergency room. I was terrified that if I took some things to help pass it, maybe that wouldn't work, and then I have 2 issues that I'm not ready to face. My date went well. He stayed here, and there's now an stuck inside my... We're about to go to the hospital. I definitely found it quite humorous. So did everybody else at the hospital as well. Gotta get my anal plug taken out of my ass. After multiple attempts at taking the item out and not being successful, this was me sitting in a surgical ward. This would continue to be me for the next 2 days because as hospitals go, more serious things come through. I wasn't in pain or discomfort or anything like that, so I was considered a lower priority surgery case and they were just gonna slot me in somewhere.
No
So for
pun
the next
intended.
2 days, this is also me. Welcome back to part 2 on how my first date ended up with me in hospital.
Oh my God.
You're gonna find out what happened. Did I have the surgery? Did I keep it? Do I use it again? We're about to find out.
The grind never stops.
So she's on OnlyFans from the hospital
Still sitting
bed.
in hospital. Oh
Just
my
getting
God, it was
sympathy
such a
money.
long time. I was not in pain, not in discomfort, so I was considered a lower priority case. It wasn't life-threatening or anything like that, so there just was far more serious cases which fully save someone's life before you deal with my silly little mishaps. I just sat there, I hustled, I did my thing and whatever and just waited, and finally my moment came and I got to go into surgery. Now I'm going to surgery. So right before I enter the surgical ward, the surgeons ask me, 1, do I want to keep the toy?
Oh, hell yeah,
And I was
souvenir.
like, I think this is well above your pay grade. Don't spend time cleaning it and all of that sort of stuff. I'm happy if you throw it out. They're like, oh, we'll probably just wash it, give it back to you, that's fine. I was like, I have heaps more at home, don't you worry about that. And they're like, don't use these, don't use it. But then they also told me, which this is the moment where it became quite scary, is that they were hoping that once I was put to sleep, my body would be relaxed enough they could easily just take it out. But there was the complication and the risk that they might not be able to retrieve it that way. And if that's the case, then they would have to cut my stomach open and go through my colon and take it out.
Oh, fuck.
This is something that they were not going to know until they were in there. So I was just going to sleep in surgery, just not knowing what I was going to wake up to. So that was a moment where I was like, oh shit.
I'm out. I feel good. I really feel weird. This is the driest sandwich I've ever eaten in my life. Oh, I cannot wait.
How made up she is just sitting in the hospital bed.
Thankfully,
She still did her
everything
makeup.
went fine. I woke up in the recovery room after having the procedure. Like 10 minutes later, it was super easy. They said that it was fine. And they definitely threw out my plugs.
Oh.
So after 2 days in hospital, this is me about to go home. Very, very happy to be everything back to normal again. For the next 2 months, I would be terrified to ever use one again for work or for anything. But I'm definitely glad to say that I'm back using them and a lot more careful. So stay safe out there.
Yeah, put a fucking plunger fucking thing on the end of that thing for next time. That way you don't fucking lose it. How fucking crazy is that? That's one of the reasons why I wanted to talk to Mikey about it, because I know his ex used to use all kinds of crazy toys. So I was wondering if they ever had a similar incident based on the things he was telling me with the size of the toys they were using, I don't think anything could get stuck up there. But I do think I remember him alluding to him possibly having used one of those himself, or having one of those having been used on him. So I'll have to ask, did you ever pucker and suck one of those suckers up in there? So who knows what's going on with Mikey though. I hope he's okay. I hope he's just tired and didn't get to work or had to work late, so, or whatever, slept after work. I don't know. Let's see here. What other stories do I have? Oh, I got a great story here. Okay, so I don't know if you guys are familiar. There's a show on Netflix called The Gentleman. And it, well, before I get to that, I forgot I actually have a study here I want to tell you guys about that. I have a study from the research. Now, let's see how valid this is, how legit this is. Oh, hold on, dude. I got to get a beer. Hold on one second. This cat is scratching at me. Hold on. I'll be right back. Getting a beer. Stay with me. Here we go. Here we go. Here we go. You can hear my voice. You don't need to see my ugly face. Just need to hear my beautiful golden tones as I grab myself another deli and make my way back to you. Sorry. Okay, here we go. So there's a study that came out from the researchers at kink and fetish platform Clips for Sale, who analyzed search data and sales related to popular fetishes. They found that while bondage still is the #1 kink worldwide, there is a new search that has gone through the roof. There's actually a little graphic that tells you about it. This actually blew my mind because I was actually guilty of doing this at one point in time. And other people we know that I used to work with did this. There is a new study that shows the new kink, guys, and it is as follows. I don't know if you guys can see that, but you'll see bondage is on the left there. And then now next to it on the right, the interest in the fart fetish has reached an all-time high. In 2017, the global SALS rank, which I don't know exactly what that is, some sort of kink rating, I guess. I don't know exactly what that is. Something to do with clips for sale, I would assume. I don't know if these are thousands, hundreds. What are these numbers here in this fucking? Oh, let me see if this graph is explained a little bit better here. Researchers found that while bondage reigns supreme worldwide, searches for passing gas exploded by 430% in just the past year, with sales jumping to 40%. Sales of what? Sales of people fucking farting in jars and selling them or stuff? Like, is that what we're talking about? How is sales of farts gone up? Like, I don't fucking understand that. Is that like a thing on the New York Stock Exchange? There's guys down at the bottom, instead of they're trading oranges and bananas or whatever, they're trading farts. That's the new fart box, the fucking New York Stock Exchange floor. This is the new fart exchange. Anyway, so I thought you guys would find that pretty funny, considering some of the old stories regarding me and some other people on the old show. I mean, that's what I always say to B1, because I don't think she really does her OnlyFans much anymore. Maybe here and there. I don't think she's really interested in doing it much anymore, according to the last time I talked to her. But like, I don't understand why she didn't do every one of these silly things. Like, you can get your core group of guys that just like to see you naked and a video of you, playing with your boobs in the shower or some shit. But, like, why wouldn't you say, I'll fart in a jar for you? I'll sell you my panties. You want pictures of my feet? Like, I would hit every single kink possible to try to get the biggest group I could. You know what I mean? Like, I don't just talk about politics here. I don't just talk about sex. I don't just talk about entertainment. We talk about a lot of different stuff here. At least we try to. A lot of times it just ends up coming back to sex because I'm fucking horny. But anyway, I haven't gotten laid in a little bit here. B1 had some medical stuff done and homeboy hasn't gotten laid. Starting to get a little backed up. Here. But no, I'm just kidding. I feel bad for her that she had to go through everything she went through. It sucks. So hopefully she's healing well and I'll be able to. Yeah, the mayor of Pound Town's on a vacation right now. Tours to Pound Town are on vacation. They are currently postponed. The trolley is out of service. And the mayor is not able to give the wonderful tours of Pound Town that he normally gives. So it's shut down. All right, now I have another story. I don't know if this is a fetish or a kink or what, but I started a minute ago telling you guys about the show on Netflix that I like called The Gentleman. It's got an actor named Theo James. Let me see. I can actually show you a picture of Theo here. If you don't watch Netflix, or if you don't have Netflix and you don't watch The Gentleman, he also was in the Divergent series as one of the main characters, so that might help you if you're into that. But it's the guy on the left, not the weird looking guy with bad sweater. It's the exceedingly handsome guy on the left there. His name is Theo James. You ask why would I bring up Theo James? Well, Theo James just did a interview with Entertainment Weekly. In fact, he was on a panel, and let's see, what were they talking about? It doesn't matter. They were talking about one of his shows and all this shit. It really doesn't matter. What does matter is what happened on the panel. When they did the panel, they actually had they played a little game at the end of it. So they spent the whole time talking about acting and, you know, what it was like to shoot this scene or that scene, or what it was like working with Joe Blow or whatever. Then at the end of it, the host says to them, we're going to play a little fun game called Two Truths and a Lie. And I think you guys all know what Two Truths and a Lie is. It's, you know, where you tell 3 stories, 2 of them being true and the third one being a lie. In fact, we used to play it on the old show sometimes. But I do have audio here, and I want to make sure, or a video here, I want to make sure that my audio is set up properly for this. Volume up. All right, so this is the guy that it starts out with is not Theo James. It's the moderator. So you're going to see the moderator of it, and hopefully there won't be an ad here. Let me hit play and see if this works here, because
this is going to go terribly. We know that.
Okay, so here we go.
Would you like to go? If you think it's going to go terribly, would you like to go first or second in providing the truths and the lie?
Okay. Here we go. All right. First truth. On my mother's side, weirdly, I am related to Brian Cox. My mother is Scottish. They're from the Isle of Skye, but actually the last 3 generations grew up in Glasgow, and in a very kind of distant way, Brian and her and me are related. Second one, university, I went on a date that I thought went pretty well. You know, we had some fun, and we were young and dumb and full of fun. And in the morning, she had left, and there was a present for me in the bath, and it was a small turd. How many truths and how many lies is it?
2 truths, 1 lie.
2 truths. Oh, okay, here we go.
If that's a truth, we have many follow-up questions.
And the truth is, I'm a quarter Greek. There you go.
So which do you think is the lie?
What's the first one again?
Brian Cox. Brian Cox, come on.
Brian Cox is a lie. It's true. God damn it. Well,
That's the lie. That's the lie. You got it right.
Yes.
I just realized, hold on real quick. I just realized that guy on the right who's really handsome and cool looking is the guy that I just called ugly from the other picture. I just realized that. What an idiot I am. Look how he's supposed to look ugly and stupid in the video, or in the movie, or in the show, The Gentleman. Here he looks all like a cool ass actor.
Which Brian Cox, the astronomer or the actor?
The actor.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was going for. But yeah.
See, if you'd gone astronomer, I would have bought it.
All right, Dan. Here we go.
Okay, here we go.
Close us out.
I once went on holiday over Christmas. Paid 50.
We're skipping through all of his.
So I just fucking drink. And for the.
Do they get to the?
So hold on. You stood next to him, or you had a full conversation?
It was a lie. Yes. You don't get to ask me.
Anyway, they skipped it. I don't know. I must have accidentally skipped it. The truth was that the girl actually took a shit in his bathtub. That was a real thing. That was not a made-up story. The girl actually took a shit in his bathtub after he fucking fucked her that night. So why in the world? Now, when he says the bath, does he mean the bathtub? Because British people are different, right? Or do they call it the loo, don't they? If you're going to the toilet. Hold on one sec. Let me make sure I didn't mix that up. Why is this not opening? Come on. Where a woman left him a brown reminder of their time together. It was the bathtub. Okay, cool. So yes, she left a shit in the bathtub. And I've been in multiple situations where this happened. I think we've all been there. If you've ever had too much to drink the night before, you go to take a shower to feel better. Little something, little something drops in there while, down the back of your leg and then plops on the bottom of the bathtub. And then you got two options. You're going to try to, if you don't have a spray, like a hose that comes off to be able to spray that off. I mean, you got one option there. You got to kick it and then waffle stomp that thing, which I have now dubbed the Miami stomp after my incident with Nads in Miami where he took a crap on my chest. Because after that was done, I immediately just rolled over and it got plopped onto the floor. And there was no shower head thing there was no shower head thing. Matt, I'll grab me 1 sec, my dude. There was no shower head to come down and spray it off. So basically I had to, the thing that had just landed on my chest that I plopped on the floor, I basically had to kick over to the drain and then waffle stomp, Miami stomp it down the drain, what was left. Some of it got scooped up into a towel and put into a trash bag, but there were still plenty of remnants left. And obviously the famous story of JLR taking it down the wrong way and walking past the front desk with it. Instead of turning, he turned left instead of right. Right took him right to the dumpster. Instead, he didn't listen to us. We said, go downstairs, turn right, take it right to the dumpster. Instead, he goes downstairs, turn left, goes right to the front desk, walks right by with the most rank-ass, stinky bag of shit ever, and then has to walk all the way around the building to get to the dumpster. Fun stuff, fun times. So that's the only way he got that out of there, unless he had a spray thing. He had to do a waffle stomp or he had to spray that thing down the drain. So pretty gross. I don't know. Think he was bad in bed? Do you think he dropped one on her or something? Like, what would be a reason that a girl would do that? I can't even imagine. I can't even think of a reason why somebody, other than just being an asshole, would just drop a shit in your bathtub after you took him to Pound Town. Matt, you're on Another Dumb Show. Matt, what's up, dude?
Oh, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you? What can I do for you? What's going on? What's wrong?
I don't know.
Okay. How come you're calling?
I'm watching the show.
Okay. Are you gonna keep talking like this, or are you gonna? What's going on?
Yeah, I just wanted to know how was your Father's Day?
How was my Father's Day? It was good, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay.
How was your dad's Father's Day?
It was good, thank you. Okay, I think I know what we got going on here. Okay. It's Tuesday. It's weird. It's Tuesday though. It's weird. It's Tuesday. Usually we'll hear from you on Wednesdays.
You don't say. How was your Father's Day, bud?
Oh, it was wonderful. It was so nice of you to call your dad. You called your daddy, didn't you?
No, actually, I had a nice day with my father, my mother. We cook out.
Hey, buddy, guess what? You called your daddy on Father's Day. This guy, I'm your daddy, bitch. That's why you called me on Father's Day. Booyah. So I love so much. So that's for you guys. That's the little dick loser that calls into the show. This guy named Chance. Because he thinks he's so sly, he has my personal cell, which is not hard to find. He calls me on my cell. He usually goes like, I don't know, he just pops up. He'll come out of nowhere just randomly, and then for whatever reason, and I'm thinking it's because like on Wednesdays, normally Mikey and I make fun of him because he'll usually call on Wednesdays. And we've determined that that's his mom goes to the bowling alley that night to try to figure out which one of the bowlers there is his daddy. Now, because he doesn't know who his daddy is, and his mom is a known slut around the bowling alley, he called me on Father's Day. And literally the first words out of his mouth were, Happy Father's Day. So I'm his daddy. Chance, I'm your daddy. Sound good? You really kind of, you kind of walked into that one, buddy. Who's your daddy? All right. On that note, I think we'll wrap things up here tonight. Hopefully, real quick note before we wrap the show up. A really fun thing, a really cool story that I saw today, tweet that actually made me really happy. I don't know if you guys are fans of the movie, or if you're fans of Mel Brooks, Blazing Saddles, all that stuff, a legendary film producer and director and actor, really. He made the movie Spaceballs. Famous movie. John Candy, Bill Pullman, Rick Moranis, him playing Yogurt. And I can't remember who the name of the girl, Daphne Zuniga, I think is the girl that played Princess, whatever her name was. Princess Daphne. No, wait, what's her name then? What's her real name? I don't know. Anyway, I'm mixing up names. Anyway, Spaceballs is back, baby. Spaceballs 2 is now in the works with Mel Brooks and Josh Gad, according to Discussing Film. So I can't wait for that shit. I really fucking loved Spaceballs. May the Schwartz be with you. Everybody loved that. It was fucking hilarious. They've jammed us, all of it. I think it's great jam. Lord Helmet, all of it. So good. I got to tell you, though, I'm not the biggest Josh Gad fan. If you guys don't know who Josh Gad is, he is an actor. He was in the movie, he was the voice, I think, of, what the fuck is the guy's name in Frozen? Olga? I don't know. Wrong one, sorry. That's him. That's Josh Gad, if you guys don't know who Josh Gad is. Anyway, I am not the biggest fan of this guy. I got to be honest with you. I find him to be overly melodramatic and kind of annoying and just a little flamboyant in a lot of the stuff he plays. I think there was one thing I liked him in, but for the most part, I'm not a huge fan of Josh Gad. So we'll see how that turns out. I hope he better not be playing Lord Helmet. Just because he has the nerdy glasses and looks like Rick Moranis does with the glasses, he better not be the one playing Lord Helmet. He can produce it and help write it or whatever, because I think he's a good writer, and I know he's actually kind of funny. But I don't think I don't want him playing Lord Helmet. I just don't. We need to get Rick back. The poor guy gets punched on the street randomly in New York City. We haven't seen anything since Honey that Shrunk the Kids or Little Giants. We need you back, Rick. We need you back for Spaceballs 2, buddy. Come on back. All right, guys. I think that's going to wrap things up for us tonight. It feels so good to have heard from all my children on Father's Day. I had a wonderful Father's Day. My two boys were out of town. I'd actually spent the weekend with the Father's Day weekend before. I actually got a pre-Father's Day weekend with my boys because their mom was going out of town that weekend. They scheduled a trip, and she actually got approval from me for it, which was so nice. Approval meaning, hey, do you mind if we go on a trip on Father's Day and you can celebrate Father's Day on another day? So I actually got 2 Father's Days. That's how good a dad I am. I got 2 Father's Days. And I got an extra kid who's not even mine. And I'm just somebody else's daddy right now. It feels so good. Just feels good, guys. I'm feeling good about myself right now. So, all right, guys. Speaking of my kids, I actually have to go to my son's baseball game tomorrow. I actually have to pick him up and take him to his game. I think his mom, she said she's going to see the Back to the Future musical that's here in town. So that's pretty cool. Good for her. So I'm happy to take Shay to his baseball game tomorrow night. And I think it might be the last game of the season, maybe. I know there's an all-star game this weekend, so I don't know if I'm pretty sure his team's not going to make the playoffs, or I don't know if all the teams make the playoffs. I'm not exactly sure how it works, but I don't think they've won a game this year. Despite Shea's really great performance, the rest of the teams, the whole back half of their lineup, and sadly, is just not hitting. It's been a pretty rough year for these guys. So hopefully they can get a W tomorrow and break that streak. And I hope they get to get in the playoffs, because anything can happen with baseball. So, alrighty, guys. Thank you so much to all of you for coming and hanging out with me here on issue, whatever it is, 222 or whatever. I'm happy to have you guys all here and very thankful. Once again, if you want to help support the show, if you like what you're watching, first thing you can do is hit the thumbs up button for me. If you're watching and you're not subscribed, go ahead and subscribe. That way you'll have access to the live chat next time we go live. And of course, you can always, if you like what you're watching and you want to make sure it continues for a while, all you have to do is go to the Another Dumb Show homepage. Go to the Another Dumb Show homepage. That's my son calling again. He couldn't get enough of me on Father's Day, so he wanted to call back and tell me what a great dad I am. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. Anyway, yeah, become a member and help support Another Dumb Show. That way we can keep this thing rolling for a while. I am out of here. See ya.